Welcome, everybody, to the podcast today, where we're going to be speaking with two lovely guests today. Probably one of the biggest developers in all of Chicago, Illinois. We have 20 years worth of development experience here, as well as $200 million closed in developmental revenue. Okay. Other than that, we have brand new, recently ranked #1 builder, Chicago of the Year developer, Azeem Khan, as well as Raheem Khan with here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Thanks, Tyler.
So, today, we're going to be going over kind of the journey, the process, a little bit about how we started, right? 20 years worth of development is no small time frame. So just kind of catch me up to speed. Like, where did we start 20 years ago, day one? What did that look like?
20 years ago, we found ourselves looking at opportunities here on the north side of Chicago, actually in this neighborhood right here, North Center.
Yep.
And we saw an opportunity where this neighborhood seemed to have a huge value because new construction was priced very, very, very competitive considering the school zones and everything the neighborhood had to offer with what it offers for kids and Lane Tech and St. Ben's and Coonley and all these different schools and Wells Park, where we all grew up at and everybody played sports. Those kind of opportunities for kids really gravitated a lot of people into this area. And the value of the land was very, very cost effective.
Of course.
And so that's where we entered. We wanted to enter a marketplace where we were the best priced, high quality, competitively priced home where you could have an opportunity to customize the final finishes. Nobody was offering that at the time. And we took advantage of it.
Do what no one else could.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So before all of that, though, even year one of all things, right? I mean, there's flipping, wholesaling, which I do, right? Even then, real estate aside, there's sports, business ventures. Why developing of all things?
I'll start with this. We started off in brokerage. We were real estate brokers. So we were working with developers.
Yeah.
We were selling Park Millennium with Kerry McCormick. We were over there at Trump Towers. Working with Terry Proctor. We were selling out, helping sell out condo buildings. We were selling new construction all over the place. And I think seeing the opportunity in development always intrigued us. And we thought it would be something that we could jump in.
So then, okay, I mean, development, and even a brokerage, starting the brokerage in the first place, right? It's not, especially now that I'm in it and everyone else who's even has thought about real estate, it's obviously you can't just jump into it and just start making money, right?
Brokerage or development?
Brokerage.
Okay.
That's where we started, right?
Yeah.
Square one.
Love it. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
When we started, right, what was the biggest fear in your guys' head? Like, okay, we want to start a brokerage, but how the fuck do we do this?
Oh, man, I love that question. You know what? You know who was Rookie of the Year their first year in real estate?
Who?
This guy right here.
Well, I was a little lucky. A little background on me. I joined AK Custom Homes in the Khan Group in 2011. Azeem had been in the business for about 7 years. When I was an undergrad, I used to go to Azeem's office, help him out with things. So I had a good amount of experience whenever I started in the business. He had a good network of people, clients, buyers, sellers, investors. I also was there for the first days of AK Custom Homes. I was actually living with him at the time in his basement when he first started his first project here in the North Center. So I was able to win Rookie of the Year because I joined with him, and he was a good mentor for me in those days.
I think that's pretty humble of him. He busted his ass and he was out there working, grinding. And look, before brokerage, I'd like to, tell you a little bit about what I did before brokerage.
Yeah, of course.
And I loved it because it made me who I am. I cold called. Cold called and I sold office furniture.
Yeah.
And so we learned how to cold call. We learned when you're selling real estate, the truth and the matter and the fact is everybody's a potential client. Everywhere you go, everybody's a potential client. You walk in the gas station, do you own this gas station? Yes, I do. Man, he's a potential client.
Yep.
You don't own this gas station? Oh, okay, he might need to rent the property. Oh, okay. Yeah. Everywhere I would go, I was thinking somebody was a client, right? So we were new to Chicago, not from Chicago, and trying to seize the opportunity in Chicago. And we were hungry.
Yeah.
Right. We were hungry. And that's what started us off in brokerage.
Okay.
And I'm proud of our foundation with brokerage because that's what got us into development. And it taught us how to learn how to work with brokers. Because we're still working directly with brokers. So when a broker brings a buyer to our house, we did the brokerage. We understand how to make a broker look good in front of their client, as long as they allow us to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you get that 1 in 100 brokers that wants to do everything and change the entire process, and it doesn't work like that, right? Like, you got to follow our process because we've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah,
you know?
and there's a great reason for it.
That's
so,
right.
So we got the Khan Group, which is the brokerage, and then AK Custom Homes. So then take me through then the transition from the Khan Group starting the brokerage to why get into developments if we already had the brokerage going?
Love that question too. We gonna blast somebody right now? We gonna put somebody on blast right now.
Go ahead.
Hey, that guy that thought we couldn't do it, we did it. We did it.
Sure did it.
Well, we were at a local, brokerage company right here down on Lincoln Avenue, and great people. But why share your commission with another company that's not, we're putting in the time, we're putting in the effort, we're putting in the work. I just needed somebody that knew how to pass the exam. That was this guy right here. So he's the managing broker.
Yeah.
And
speaking to add on to what he was saying, he told me the day I left, you'll be back in a year. That was 10 years ago, so we never came back.
But thanks for putting a chip on our shoulder. So, we started off in brokerage and transitioning from brokerage into development was just a perfect natural progression. So right? What you got to say about the brokerage and how we started it? I mean, it just came down to it made financial sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity in developments.
Yeah.
Especially this neighborhood. He lived in the neighborhood. I was around the neighborhood. All the clients that we had and all the contacts we made, and from architects to contractors, it just made sense to go into the development business.
Yeah, of course.
You definitely have a little bit more control whenever you're a developer.
Yeah, so it seems like it's one of those things where it's more so you were already doing damn near all the work anyway, but getting way less commission. Is like, if you're already doing it, why not just do your own thing?
If you're selling the project, you're selling the house, and you're the broker and you're the developer, who knows the house better than you?
No one.
Right. So if I'm going to sell a cheeseburger, I'm going to sell you fries too.
Yeah. And the drink. And the drink. Everything.
All of it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it all in-house. And I think that's something that I always say is the more control you can have over your business, the less variables you're going to play with. And those variables that you're going to play with, you have control over. So if they fail, it's on you to fix it. If they go well, then you pat yourself on the back. A lot of times they fail, and then you struggle with figuring out a solution for it. But I'd rather have that than the variable be in the control in the hands of somebody else. Yeah, and I think that's key, right?
So then, I'm glad you brought that up, where it's like when you have all the variables under your control, right? Things are bound to go wrong, and I'm experiencing this in my position right now, right? I'm trying to delegate work and try to do things,
right?
How do you go about handling the stress when things don't go to plan, but also ensuring things go to plan every single time consistently when it's not necessarily in your control, but it's still under your umbrella? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think you know the answer I'm going to say. Get in the gym.
Yep.
Get in the gym. You got to get in the gym. You get in the gym, and that releases the endorphins, and it takes out the stress and the anxiety and the pressure and the, and all the ambiances that come along with that. Yeah. And I think it's really important for business owners, entrepreneurs, everybody, right? Everybody, you got to value your health, right? But I think a lot of us struggle with when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And I think you have to have a shutdown period sometime during the business day, and it doesn't need to be lunch. Yeah, it needs to be something where you're proactive and you're doing something. And I think training and getting in the gym is really, really important.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. No, I mean, that makes sense. I even feel that to this day. So yeah, 100%. Yeah. So then kind of taking a little back just towards the journey as well, when we did switch to development, I know you said obviously it was like, right, someone saying, oh, we couldn't do it. Like, okay, well, we did it. But what would you say the biggest turning point was, where it could be in the development career? It could have been switching from brokerage to development. It could have even been just starting the brokerage, right? But 200 million in developments closed, 20 years of experience. When was the breaking point?
I think I can kind of lead you into this. Your first project, the first project was 2007, 2008. You did well. The second and third project. What day did you buy those? What day were those projects bought?
Oh man, that's actually an amazing story.
Tell me about
It
it.
was
Tell me about it.
it was the day Lehman Brothers went under, and
The market
everyone
crashed.
was saying you're crazy. Why are you going in this? You want to back out of the deal?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that the market crashed, right? We started a recession. That
Yeah.
was the last recession that we were in, 2007, and the market crashed. And my attorney, Deborah Ashton, called me and said, "Hey, you can back out of this thing. You'll lose your earnest money." I said, "I ain't losing nothing. I'm going to go ahead and build this. And if I break even, I break even." We didn't break even. We got, we were fortunate. The local alderman ended up building and kind of vamping Coonley School, and now everybody wanted to be in Coonley School. So, right place, right time.
Yep.
But with risk, the right place, the right time happens.
Yeah.
You got to take some risk every now and then,
course.
right? You got to believe in yourself, and you got to be able to take risk. When we started developing, it wasn't about building one home. It was about doing this longevity, right? I was watching people that had been in this business for generations in Chicago,
Yeah.
right? And I think that really is what motivated me. I watched what they did, and I wanted to be like them, right? So I had people that I looked up to that were developers who now I compete with, but I still, give them credit.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
And they're the goats. They've been doing it for a little longer than us.
Yep.
Right. And so that's kind of where it went.
Healthy competition. Yeah, no, I get it 100%. So kind of touching on like the risk aspect, right? Seems like it was a very big risk taking it on, buying more when everything was going against you. In the developmental aspect, how do you manage the risk to reward ratio and understand, okay, yes, this may be very risky taking on, but behind it, there's X, Y, and Z more. But there's also the point where sometimes the risk isn't worth the reward. How do you go about taking a risk and not?
I mean, any business, you got to take on risk.
Of course.
It's risk management, of course, right? So, me and Azeem, we analyze deals and we underwrite deals in two different ways. I look at it from a financial point of view. Azeem will look at it from, the local market, the street itself.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you can elaborate on what you look at it from.
The streets talk, right? The buyers talk, the brokers talk. You know what people are looking for, and you try to offer that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so when you say you know what people are looking for, kind of in like I want to put it into the standpoint of, let's say I'm a homeowner.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of the AK Custom Homes plan, if I'm a homeowner, right?
Right.
How would that process look? Like, what would you guys be doing specifically for me as a homeowner through your guys' process?
Yeah. So I think a lot of homeowners that come to us come through referrals and references. A lot of them come through high-level brokers who know our process, understand our process, and, trust us, right? And I think that, with recently winning the award, right? That award was voted by local Chicago realtors, right? And I think that's a true testament to our relationship with brokers.
Yeah.
We do a great job of making it easy for brokers to be able to put their buyers in the hands of us and work with us for the next 4, 5, or 6 months. A lot of times the brokers do exactly what they should, put the deal together and step away and allow us to work the process.
Yeah.
And I think my experience has seen when buyers don't bring a broker in, it's a little bit more challenging than it is when they do bring a broker in.
Okay.
And the other thing I would say is I would tell homeowners, you're buying an AK custom home. We've been doing this for a long time. Put your trust in us, and it's the last time that we'll have to ask for it.
Okay. So then in terms of more so the homeowner aspect then, based off of your 20 years of experience, what would you suggest that homeowners look out for or do in the sense of when they're looking for a custom built home?
I would say that they really need to work within our construction timeframes. We give buyers the allowances to choose finishes, for example, lighting, tile, and we give them dates. It's really important for them to work hard on completing those dates. Now, we offer an interior designer in the price. No one's doing that. in the price to help them along the way. So I think working directly with our designer to choose those finishes within the time frame makes everything so much easier. So we can order things on time. We can keep our construction timeline working. And because we're carrying the note, it's not, it's challenging when buyers don't choose the selections on time.
Yeah.
Because it costs us, and that's just an awkward situation to be in,
course.
right? So, choosing the selections on time, it makes everything easier. We're able to hit construction closing dates. We're able to give them enough time to be able to do inspections and do it the right way, and be able to do punch lists the right way, and work on the house the right way, and we're not rushed that way. And it's a domino effect. It's a chain effect when selections are not chosen on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, kind of going into the specialization aspect, right, of the custom homes.
Yeah.
Number 1 developer of the year, which congrats, by the way.
Thank you very much.
What makes the Khan Group, or not even the Khan Group, but the Khan Group and AK Custom Homes different than everyone else? Why are you number 1?
Oh, look, I've worked with some amazing general contractors. I mean, some of the best, right? And I attribute the quality of the construction to them. I mean, these guys are experienced, hardworking, well-diversed, and have dealt with so many different situations. The process of being able to customize all the final finishes is something that no one's doing. The quality that we offer, these limestone facades on blocks where no one's doing it. We're offering elevators in homes where, our standards are not doing it.
Yeah.
It's features, right? It's features that offer value, right? It's a process, it's a reputation, it's a name. I think the streets that we build on are premier.
Yeah.
That's what makes AK Custom Homes different. And you can, we take a lot of pride in what we do.
Yeah.
And we love working directly with our homeowners, we love being a part of the process and building relationships. This last home we built on Fremont was a testament to that. Buyers chose all the selections on time, amazing relationship that we have with them, and we just continue to keep doing that. That's what this business is about. It's not about building one home. We're not going to retire off of one home or 2 homes or 3 homes. There's, frankly, the margin is not there, right? It's you got to continue to keep building.
Yeah. So it seems like it's one of those things where the reason that both companies stand out is you guys are willing to do what most aren't. Therefore, in return, you get results that most aren't willing and able to get.
We have great resources too. We have a great team, and then outside of our team has teams, and they have teams.
Yeah,
and that network that we offer is, I think, bar none.
I mean, and relationships we have within our team. A lot of our people have been with us since day one. We've been working with the same lender since day one, same architect, same attorney. A lot of the same contractors, and that goes a long way.
Yeah,
you can't beat a 20-year relationship with someone, right? You have all the trust in them; they have all the trust in you. It makes everything move smoothly.
Of course. So I kind of want to touch into that. I mean, that's obviously being able to keep a team together for that long, a period amount of time. How do you go about that? Like what are some things that you?
I love that question. That's our culture. Our culture. We come from a specific area in Pakistan, and that area in Pakistan has its own kind of code of honor, and that code of honor is the foundation of it is loyalty. Everything about us is about being loyal, right? Until you cross us.
Yeah.
But it's all about being loyal, and we have such amazing people. So we want to be loyal to them more than we want to stick with them.
Yeah.
And keep that relationship. That's so important for us.
So
we're very fortunate. We got some great people around us, amazing people, and that's why it's not about me. It's not about Raheem. It's not about me and Raheem. It's about the whole team. Like if I could have everybody standing behind me right now and sitting with us, I would.
Yeah.
Right? Because
of course
you got to give a shout out to the entire team. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
When you're on the bump, you got to have that infield and outfield that's working for you, right? You got to have a catcher that's framing, right? You got to have all that, right?
Yeah.
You got to have it all. You got to have somebody chirping in the background at first base. You got to have it all, right? And we got all them players.
Yep.
And that's what makes a team, right?
Of course. So how would you say then you go about finding the people who have the loyalty in it? Because obviously it's not just something you can just pick someone off the street and all of a sudden they stay with you for 20 years. You have to be doing something special. How do you find someone that is able to fit into the culture from the very get-go that can stay 10, 20 years on time?
That's a really good question.
It's a great question, but it's a simple answer. When you walk into certain environments, right? You play for the St. Louis Cardinals, for example. Right? I know you're a Cubs fan. You play for the Yankees. You know, you walk into an environment and a certain standard, and everybody around you holds you to that standard. So if we have to hire a new, let's say, trade, right? And they walk into our environment, usually they know most of our trades, right? The higher end level trades all know each other indirectly. They know what to expect. They know what to expect. And I think they understand what we offer, right? And that makes it easy for them to transition in, to be honest. I think that's really what it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
So a big emphasis on the culture. Kind of touching on the culture a little bit, in your 20 years of experience, what would you say your most memorable moment is? It can be in the Khan Group, AK Custom Homes. What's your most memorable moment?
Man, that's a good question. Was it the holiday parties we used to throw, right?
Them were bangers.
Yeah, those were awesome. COVID ruined that.
Yeah.
Man, we used to have some fun holiday parties.
Where the whole team would get together?
Everyone was there.
Everyone.
We would have people drive 5 hours for these, and they would never miss it.
Oh, our insurance guys would drive up from Centralia, Illinois.
Yeah, 5 hours.
Never
missed it.
Our trades would all stay till 4 a.m. And it was just a phenomenal. It was a phenomenal time. You know, it was.
It was a great time to reflect on the year because everyone gets busy.
Yeah.
You see these guys at the houses here and there. Everyone gets busy with their lives, but it was a great time. Everyone hang out, talk about the year, the projects.
Yeah.
Right.
And you talk about a diverse room, right?
Yeah.
We had Moroccans, we had Eastern Europeans, the Polish, we had the Ukrainians,
Romanians.
We got the Mexicans, we got the Romanians, we got the whole crew's Irish, right? It's just
and they were all friends.
The Italians, everybody, right? We're old school. We're from the 90s. Everybody gets along.
Yeah.
Everybody gets along, right? Like everybody gets along and everybody cracks jokes at each other and nobody's feelings gets hurt, And we had a blast. I'd definitely say that was that. But we did have an interaction with Donald Trump himself.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Tell me about that.
It was my first day on the job.
Your first day on the job?
First or second day. And he shook his hand and he introduced himself as Azeem Khan, AK Custom Homes, and Donald Trump shook his hand.
Really?
Like that.
Well, Trump is the developer.
Yeah.
That's the guy, right?
Of course.
So when I got the opportunity to meet Trump, I wanted to, let him know who our name. I just wanted to make sure that he heard. It was important for me to just say, AK Custom Homes in front of him so he hears the name.
Yeah.
But I think we'll talk about that story off.
Yeah, we can.
Off record.
So we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been in the industry for 20 plus years now. We've done feeds people can't even imagine, right? What can we expect for the Khan Group and AK Custom Homes in the next 5 to 10 years? What are some of your goals? What are we shooting for?
More unique projects.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing a different projects every year now. We're definitely not doing any cookie cutter stuff.
And when you say different projects, what do you mean?
Different size of the lots, different floor plans,
different features, different finishes, different. We're throwing some new whistles and bells that we've never done before, and we're establishing ourselves as a developer that's offering things that you don't find in the marketplace.
Of course. Okay. And I'm going to ask this question, but I kind of want to lead into like the exact process and tactics in a second. Someone that wants to start developing today, right, and build something as successful as AK Custom Homes and the Khan Group, starting from day one, what would you tell them?
I get this question all the time. Start small.
Yeah.
The first home I ever built was a home that sold for $170,000 down in Southern Illinois, in Carterville, Illinois, which is right next to Carbondale. And I made $5,000 on that house. And
Was it a flip or development?
it was a new construction development.
New construction.
I met a general contractor down there. We built the house. You know, I wouldn't say it didn't work out. I learned a ton. I was driving down from Chicago, 6 hours down there,
Yep.
going back and forth, and I learned so much. That was probably the turning point for me. Honestly, I learned so much in that project because everything went wrong,
Yeah.
and that's what you want because it's your first project.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot. So you got to learn.
Yeah.
You can't be looking at your first project like, oh yeah, I'm just going to make this crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
If you do, cool. But you gotta learn, right? It's just like anything else. You gotta get out there and you gotta get the reps.
You got to fuck around and find out.
You gotta fucking go through it.
Yep.
Fall face first in the mud. Wipe that shit off. Get
Yep.
the fuck up and get going again.
Yep.
That's what you got to do.
100%.
And the second house we built, we made $7,000. And the next house we built, we made $10,000. Right? And people are looking at me like, "That's it." And I'm like, "Man, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning." And then then we started building in Chicago and get started.
Yeah.
Find a way to get started.
Tap
right?
into your network, talk to who you got to talk to, and just start.
Yeah. Of course.
Right now is better than next year.
Yeah.
Our first project, we got 100% loan from the bank. I don't know if they're doing that with new construction now, but they gave us a 100% loan from the bank, right? And so, get your credit right and start somewhere.
There's no excuse.
Yeah,
There's always a way.
there's always a way, and you know that better than anybody.
Yep. I want to ask kind of a personal question to kind of both you guys, just to kind of like on a broader level, right? Obviously, all the accomplishments and everything we've done is, of course, mind-blowing to say the least.
Yeah,
How do you define wealth?
I love that question. I define wealth. I like to put my own definition on wealth. I think it's health, family,
Yep.
and happiness. It has nothing to do with money.
Yep.
That's honestly what I believe, because where I grew up and how I grew up and where I come from and where my parents come from and where my father comes from, I've seen the happiest people in the world, and they don't have all the material things, right? It's health, it's family, and it's time. I think time's probably the most precious thing. So, you can work from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. and you make all this money, and you can sit and look at your bank account. But if you ain't got the time, the health, and all that, what's it worth? Right? Everybody's got to work. Everybody's got to bust their ass.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're talking about wealth usually comes later on in life. Right. You got to create wealth. Right.
Yeah.
Wealth doesn't just come to you. Right. First you make money and then you create wealth.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the true definition to me in wealth is what I said.
Yeah.
And that's just,
It's more beyond just the paper.
that's kind of my definition of it, but that's probably not what the true definition of wealth is.
Yeah, well, it's your own, right? And that's why it's important. It's more than just what everyone sees a number on a screen.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely more than money. Being able to take care of your family, spending time with the people that you love,
Yep.
being in control of your own time. That's how I define wealth.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Now I kind of want to tap in, and we're going to go pretty tactical on this because I also want to learn myself.
Yeah.
In terms of the development side of things, right? How do you go about acquiring the land? Because obviously there is no development without the land, right? Especially for most people out there, if you don't know, Azeem and Raheem are developing in the biggest neighborhood in all of Chicago. It's not just some regular neighborhood, right? So of all things, in the most competitive market there is, how do you find these land deals?
I love this question because there's a guy to my left that whenever I find an address, I ask him to wholesale. Call them as a wholesaler. There's a guy to my right. Whenever I find an address, I ask him to look up the history. So that's two ways that I do it, right? The third is we get them through references. We get them through referrals. Brokers call us. Homeowners call us because they know we're always looking.
Yep.
What else? Don't give them all the ingredients.
Oh, I'm not giving them everything. I would say one thing that is important is I know we already talked about our relationship with the brokerage industry, but it definitely helps that everyone knows that we are serious.
Yeah.
if there's an opportunity, brokers do reach out to us for potential opportunities. We don't just look at the MLS. We dive deep into the MLS for any lead that we can find. We walk blocks. We look for potential teardowns that way. Not every, I mean, I would say 70-80% of the properties are bought off the market, right? Not in MLS.
For sure.
There's the list of ways to find land is endless.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
You just got
You got to call as many people as you can. You got to text as many people as you can. Email as many people as you can, and that's how we go about it.
I mean, we're in the process right now of looking for land, and him and I have been we've been really getting we've been really getting after it.
Yeah.
Like, we have not been able to find land, and anybody that's in the business right now knows land is so hard to find right now. Right, and one of the hardest times to find land is right now.
Yep.
But we'll find it.
Why would you say it's a hard time to find land right now?
I think a lot of people don't want to sell.
I think interest rates.
Yeah.
Some people locked in some low interest rates.
Yeah.
They don't want to sell.
Yeah.
Inventory's low right now.
Yeah.
It's a macro thing you can't, control, but we'll find land.
Yeah.
We have in the past few, since interest rates have gone up.
20 years, you're always going to find
land. We'll have our opportunities.
Yeah. So I guess, because this is kind of in relation to kind of what I'm doing right now, but in times like this where market's down, right, inevitably more times than not business will kind of come down with it. Not that you're, struggling by any means, but how do you handle the ebbs and flows of obviously running your own company, knowing that, 1 month can be very high, the next month can be very low? How do you build consistency and always kind of stay pushing?
We have seen that when the market, when people are not building, that's when we want to build. When people are building, we're still going to build.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more challenging because there's more competition.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, people are always asking me, how's the market? I don't know. I'm just going to build.
I'm just
going to keep building. Yeah. Is the market good? I'm going to keep building.
Yeah.
Is the market bad? I'm going to keep building. We're just going to keep building.
Yeah.
Right? Just keep shooting the ball.
I mean, we've been in for 20 years. I mean, look at what's happening in the market. COVID.
Yep.
Like we talked about, the first couple projects were during the great financial crisis. 2022, the interest rates, inflation, we've dealt with it all. You just got to stick through it and keep building, like you said.
Just stick with the process regardless of the results.
Yeah.
Like that.
One day you're throwing 80, one day you're throwing 95.
Yep. You just keep pushing.
You just keep working your nuts off.
Yep. So when building, or even just doing a development in general, there's land, there's GCs, floor plans, so many things that can go wrong, can be make or break. What are the most important factors when building a new home?
What you said. I mean, the floor plan is important. The front facade is important. We take pride in our land, in our backyards, and try to offer a little bit of a different opportunity when we're not on a standard lot. When we are on a standard lot, we like to really pretty up the backyard and the front yard and the rooftop decks and garage decks and all of that. And just offering some different features. But I think, again, it always comes down to the fact that the things that can go wrong, we always are able to offer something that others are not, and that's being able to customize the home. So that's how we combat that challenge.
Okay, so the most important factor would be the fact that you're able to make what that homeowner may want.
There's always something that happens. You look at the blueprint, you miss something, you end up building the garage too big, and you wish you'd had a bigger backyard. And now you can't change it because the foundations are in and the concrete's been poured and it's too late. And then you realize I should have cut it short. But you find another feature in the home that you focus on and you try to offer that. Like in our recent home that we're building at 3630 North Jansen, we're offering a wellness room. So we got a cold tub, we got a sauna, we got all that, right? This exercise room, meditation area. This is our first time doing a true wellness room, right? Well, we built one, but this is our second time. But this is the first time that we're doing it without a buyer asking us to do it, because we think that's the future. People want to take care of themselves.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's I can see that 100%.
Yeah,
I'd want to buy that home.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So kind of touching on like the customization aspect, right? What role or how big of a role would you say customer experience is in the AK Custom Homes process?
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. That's what pushes our business. Customer needs to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can put the customer in a situation where they're going to experience something that they are not finding in other places, I think we have a competitive advantage in the marketplace. Look, choosing your cabinet colors can be really complex for a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an interior designer that shows you the countertops, the backsplash, the plumbing fixtures, and is able to tie it all together, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm not saying you can choose your cabinet colors in your first meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you can. I hope you can. But if you can't, that's why we have our interior designer there to make things a little bit easier. So we want to offer a process that buyers enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But, with that, it requires time.
Mm-hmm.
We want buyers to put a stamp on the house.
Yeah.
Make it feel like they've customized, most of the finishes in the home.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Anything to add to that?
No, I think you hit it.
What would you say then the most common mistakes new developers make, right? Obviously you talked about when you first started, right? All the trials and tribulations you went through, just fucking around, finding out.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick a few common ones, like let's say I wanted to start developing tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, Azeem, what do I have to look out for if I want to do a development?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think about the early days.
Just like, let's say I wanted to do a development. Like, what are the biggest development mistakes you see most beginners make? And like, how would you have them avoid it?
I think one mistake people do is obviously you got to build use cost-effective contractors, but you also got to use quality contractors, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to spend a little bit more money because in the end, sometimes it ends up costing you more money.
Yeah.
If you use someone that is an experienced contractor, doesn't know what they're doing, it ends up costing you, takes you longer to finish the project, ends up costing you more money. I think that's something that people overemphasize.
Yeah.
I think that's one. There's a lot of mistakes that developers can make, right? I think the biggest mistake that I see developers make is building on the wrong locations.
Building in the wrong location.
Building in the wrong locations, yeah. Maybe not building in the right school zone. Maybe not building on the right street, a two-way street that's super busy, right? Building next to let's say, an apartment complex that has 20 units. Those are, even though they purchased the land for a low price.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a challenge that some developers have.
You have to understand the neighborhood you're dealing with because it does play a big role.
Well, let's talk about this neighborhood, right? And I live west of Western. So west of Western doesn't demand the same price as of east of Western. But I've seen suburbans come in and try to build west of Western asking for the same price east of Western. And then they sit on the market for a year and a half, and they don't understand why. And they're saying, well, down the street, but down the street's east of Western.
Yeah.
But you got to live over here to understand the difference between west of Western and east of Western.
Yep.
And there's different pockets in the city. In Lincoln Park, it's Halstead. That's a difference. West and east of Halstead.
Yeah.
In Lakeview, it's east and west of Southport, right? There's a difference.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So kind of touching on like the contractor aspect then, right? Because even me, I'm in wholesaling, I'm not doing developments, but even I know like a GC can be a make or break in all aspects.
Yeah.
How do you go about vetting, trusting a GC and knowing they're going to get the job done for what you're going to be paying them?
We've worked with the best GCs.
Yeah.
It's not an interviewing process. I worked with a GC for almost, how long?
13
years?
13
years, and he was one of the best you'd ever meet. He did, he put his heart and soul into every project and worked really, really hard and knew his stuff. And the GC I currently work with is no different. He's steadfast, works hard, knows exactly what to do, gets everything done. Really good general contractors work really good with your buyers. They know what it takes to get the trades to finish projects on time, and they know how to work with the developer. And that's not easy.
Yeah.
It takes a certain individual and a certain personality with certain characteristics, and that's really what it comes down to. But the general contractors that we have worked with, I already knew them just from shaking hands with them and being around the business. I've never been in a process where I'm sitting down interviewing somebody, never met them before, and now we're working together. It's always been through relationships.
You can just tell if they got it or not. It's that feeling inside.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then, again, more so on like the tactical side, right? When first starting out, and obviously it might be different now, but in terms of the beginner, if you're first off developing, what are some of the biggest risks someone can expect to endure if they want to do their first development? Or at least things that they should kind of look out for, but in terms of the risk side, like, budgeting wrong, right? Picking the wrong floor plan. Like, what are the biggest things that if you do wrong will cost you the most?
Well, I think that's, what you just said is budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be on top of your budget.
Mm-hmm.
And to really know what you're going to spend, it takes some, experience and whatnot. But I think that is very important. I think that's where people got to be very careful, is budgeting correctly, not cutting quarters. Like I mentioned it earlier, but you got to spend money and to invest properly into the projects.
Yeah.
To make it work. You know, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, we've taken it on the chin on some projects, and fortunately, every project that we've ever developed, and I'm talking about all 47 homes, have been financially successful. Some more than others, but we've taken it on the chin before for not budgeting the right way, but we didn't cut corners, and we still put in quality materials with quality contractors, and that's just something that we're not gonna, we're never gonna sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay. So pay people what they're worth to ensure that they get the job done. You gotta pay money to make money.
That's
exactly,
especially when you're in high-end luxury single family home development.
Can't cheap out.
You cannot.
Yep.
You cannot.
Like that. Okay. In terms of your approach, right? You've been in this for 20 years now. I'm assuming the way you used to go about developments on Project 1 versus Project 47 has drastically changed. Kind of break that down for me. How has that process changed for you?
It honestly hasn't changed much.
No?
No. It hasn't changed much. I mean,
we've definitely stuck to our fundamentals.
We've stuck to our guns and our fundamentals.
What was the old saying? We would never build a house that we wouldn't live in ourselves. Remember that?
That was not my saying, but that was our general contractor saying. You never want to live in a house that you can't. You never build a house that you wouldn't want to live in yourself. And I think it's so important.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that has changed, Tyler, is we've scaled by expanding our team. There was a time where we didn't have a designer, and I walked around with the buyers. Right. There was a time where, I was at every meeting with the buyers. Yep. There was a time, and those days have changed, right? Because to scale, you can't be in three places at the same time. Yeah. And so with that, anytime you scale in any business, you have to worry about quality control, right? And I think one challenging part of scaling and growing is being able to keep the same fundamentals. So I'll be honest with you, we never wanted to change anything. We just wanted to scale, but keep all the core fundamentals.
I see. So would you say then when scaling, because at least the biggest issue I see amongst beginners in any aspect, wholesaling, flipping, developments, is everyone wants to scale, but they don't want to do the work to actually do it. So would you say it's super important that before scaling, you do all the roles yourself first, so you know exactly how to input people and you know who's got it and who doesn't?
I think that's
You got to do it.
Yeah, you got to know everything. You got to do it yourself. Know how to manage people that you're going to put in those roles later.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, absolutely. Our father's a physician, and we didn't grow up in a business environment, right? We grew up where our father wanted to make sure, because he came from a very humble background. His father was in the Army, my grandfather, and was also a physician in the Army. And, what we saw in front of us was just hard work. We didn't see business, right? We saw hard work. So when we started, we just wanted to be hardworking. And that meant being everywhere, every time, even when we didn't know something, we were just trying to be around it, right? So yeah, I think you got to be part of every process. If you're not the first person doing the marketing, you don't know what to tell the marketing department to do one day. We don't have no marketing department. We got a marketing guy.
Yeah.
You know?
But I know what you
And
mean.
I grew up with him, and he's from my high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, Josh Favors is still doing my marketing. He's been doing it for 20 years. Shout out to Josh Favors. But that's what it is, right? We everything came from us doing it on our own, right? Designing the house. Now we knew what to tell the designer to do, right? We had a little template, a little process, and dates, and this is how we told the designer to do it, you know? And so everybody conforms to the process that we started initially and originally. And again, that comes back to the conversation of being able to control the variables.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted to control the variables, but scaling is challenging. When you start passing and delegating things off to others, with that, you're not going to get exactly what you want unless you do it yourself.
Yeah.
But again, you can't be in every place at the same time, and you got to let things go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
What's the biggest deal you guys have ever done? And what was different about that deal that made it the biggest deal ever?
The biggest house, well, one of the biggest houses we're building is actually right now. So I'll tell you how it works after we're done with it.
Okay.
Give me a badass house. This will be the nicest house in the Southport corridor. It's not even close.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's AK Custom Homes for a reason.
It's not even close. If we're not even marketing it yet. We're keeping it on the hush and on the DL right now. But it is going to be special. Wellness room, breezeway, elevator, sitting, ensuite bedroom with a sitting area, just stuff that you don't find in other houses, right? And it's gonna be really special. So I'll let you know how that goes once we're done with it. But it's about pushing the envelope. It's about doing things that others are not. Building on lots that people won't. Putting finishes in that nobody else is putting in. Challenging other developers to, do things that they're not comfortable doing. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So
okay. So would you say then the deals were they're in terms of more profitable and more successful on the customer experience level is where things come in that you guys are doing the things that none of the other home builders are doing, like the more niche things?
There's definitely a touch in AK Custom Homes. I have friends that will be walking in the street in Lincoln Park or Lakeview. They'll see a house. I mean, they don't know every address that we did. They'll take a picture of it. Hey, is this an AK Custom Home? Yeah, it is. They know that we have a touch with, especially with our facades, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is an AK Custom Home. An AK Custom Home, you can kind of, it has its own touch to it.
When I hear stuff like that, it's crazy to think that where we came from and where we're at now.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It is. It really is. I mean, I never thought we'd be at this position.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and tell you I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
I was determined to do it. I was obsessed. I didn't sleep at night for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, tears dropping from my eyes, looking at my wife saying, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Yep.
But I was determined, but I didn't know it would be at this level, you know, and we try to stay humble and grounded and continue to just keep building. It's not a pat on the back for us. It's the team.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We got a great team behind us.
So kind of just touching off what you just said, being an entrepreneur in any aspect is never easy to be successful, at least. What keeps you going? Like all the struggles, all the bad nights, like why still keep going?
Got to put food on the table. I still got, you know, I'm young and I want to continue to keep growing this business. Anytime you start something from scratch, you want to see where it goes. It's challenging at times, but times like this where I'm sitting here and reflecting on the business, it's all worth it, right?
Yeah.
A happy homeowner who drops you a text and, you know, I got this text on Saturday. It made my day. Made my day for my homeowner, right? That's what keeps me going, right? You know, winning an award. That's what keeps me going, right? What Raheem just said. Somebody walks down the street, takes a picture, sends it to us. That's what keeps us going, right? It's not all about the money. It's about appreciating something that you started and that's continuing to go, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you want to add on to that a little bit?
I think you
What
hit it
keeps
all.
us going? Okay.
So would you say then, at least the strong why for why you do things is the impact it leaves on the people you build these homes for, building the brand that you have built today, known for excellence, because it leaves a lasting impact, not just now, but on future legacies to come.
Yeah, not to sound corny, but we build houses and then we turn them into a home.
Yeah.
And it's for a family.
I like
right?
that.
And it's real, right? You are giving the keys to a family who is going to put their family inside of that home,
Yeah.
which was a house that you built, right? And you know that's a big part of somebody's life,
Yeah.
right? I coach basketball here at Coonley School, and one of my girls on my team is a homeowner, daughter,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, that's cool, right? And I walk down the street sometimes, and somebody be like, they'll tell their kids, that's Azeem, he built our house. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's just a feeling I don't even know what to put words on that,
Yeah.
right? Like that they feel that way. Obviously, I didn't build the house. It's my team that built the house. But just the recognition that they have, it means a lot. It means a lot.
Of course. And for those who don't know, Azeem is a big factor on the north side of Chicago. How big of a role would you say that plays in your daily life, being a big role in the north side community?
It's big. It's huge. Raheem and I grew up in a town where the most important guys in our community were coaches, right?
Yeah.
If you was a coach where we grew up, man, you were that guy. And we all grew up around these different coaches, right? He's 10 years younger than me, but we share some coaches in common, and we have some coaches that, they're different. But, being able to coach in this neighborhood, coach basketball, coach baseball, I probably coached over 200 kids. And seeing them go off to college and play sports, probably one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. I love being a part of that process. I always wanted to be a coach.
Like seeing people grow and become better.
Yeah.
in themselves.
And being a part of, the Neighborhood Boys and Girls Club, Wells Parks Parents Association, these different organizations in the neighborhood, and giving back to those organizations that offered my kids opportunities. That's priceless.
Yeah.
I all those orgs. It's not about business. It's not about me promoting our company.
Yeah.
It's about staying with them, and I've made it a pledge to stay with them till the end.
Yeah.
So
how big would you say then environment plays a role in your life? So for example, right, in my situation, right, I used to be in a college dorm around other people in the middle of Kansas that were all focused on baseball. For me to succeed in a business standpoint there was astronomically harder than it is me living downtown because of the environment that I'm in. Very fast paced, the people I'm around push me to become better versus out there, not that it was a bad area, it was just they had different perspectives. How would you say environment has shaped a perspective in your life?
I want to give a shout out to my boys now. So again, I got to be careful because we're on camera. We used to sit up late nights, me and the fellas.
Yeah.
And we used to sit down and we used to talk about it. And 50% of our friend group were immigrants' kids. And when you're an immigrant's kid, your parents work really hard. Most immigrants work really hard, especially the generation that I come from, right? They're 70s and 80s immigrants, right? And they are specialized and they worked really, really hard. We had no choice.
Yeah.
We had no choice. We had to figure it out. And if we didn't follow our parents' path, now you really had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? And so that kind of environment that I was around when we were coming up, I was around a lot of, hustler don't mean hustler, but we were all hustlers.
Yeah.
We were all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we were doing everything that we could. And, we had small, tiny little businesses. There was a time we were selling Air Force Ones. Mono B knows that. So we were doing it all.
Yeah.
We were trying to find ways to make money. And it took that environment of being around guys that were steadfast and and those friends of mine now are all business owners. And I'm proud of it, right? My best friends from back home are business owners. And my guys from Chicago are all business owners. And, you know, the success of being a business owner, in my opinion, it's not about how much money you make, right?
Yeah.
It's just about being able to, again, be in control of your own fate, right? And although all my friends have been challenged, including us, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's a great question. You just made me really reflect.
Yeah.
Because there was a time we were in a 2-bedroom apartment and there were rats and it was crazy, right? And
just grinding it out.
yeah, we didn't have a hot water tank and we were taking cold showers in the morning and 4 guys would sleep on the floor on a Friday night and we were grinding.
Yeah.
That's, you know, Clybourne and Ashland.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still drive by that. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question I want to ask you guys, and I want to do this individually. Doing what you have done today, right? $200 million of developments, #1 Chicago developer, right, in all of Chicagoland. If you had to speak to someone wanting to be in a position similar to yours, what advice would you give them?
Well, then I'll just, I remember when I first started in business and I asked my grandfather, who was an Army man, and God bless his soul, he said, he had a British accent because, you know, they was colonialized by the British. And so he said, upright, 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 3 times in a row. And I didn't know what that meant. And so I had to ask somebody, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And that means ethics, honesty. Just do things the right way, right? And my other grandfather, who was a businessman, God bless his soul, he gave me some advice too. And you know what he told me?
What?
He said, make sure your brother works with you. True story. I remember where I was at, and both of those things I've done. So the bottom line is this. I think you got to be honest, and I think your reputation carries you everywhere.
Yep.
And Chicago is the biggest small city in the world. Everybody knows each other.
Everybody.
Here. And a smart man told me once, bad news travels faster than good news, right? And so you want to keep the good news going, because one day you're going to do something wrong and you didn't mean to do it, and you want to have enough good news where people say, oh yeah, that dude's a good dude.
Yeah.
Right. I think your reputation is everything. I think you got to be honest, and you got to work like towards a reputation and a name, and that'll carry you.
Uphold that standard.
Yeah, I mean, everything he said is what I was going to go with. Honesty, reputation, working hard. Like he mentioned earlier, our dad, he's a physician. Seeing him, he would work 20 hours a day, you know, so nothing replaces hard work.
Yeah.
So especially when you're starting a business, you gotta grind, you know, do everything you can, manage every aspect of your business. Then one day you'll scale and you'll grow and you'll start delegating those responsibilities.
Yep. But
I would say at the beginning, just fall in love with your business and grind every day. Just that simple.
Yeah. I wanted that to be the last question, but now I have another one.
Okay.
Sure.
How big of a role would you say your dad has played in your guys' success, seeing how hard he's worked and kind of shaping that legacy for you guys?
My dad just has an amazing story, right? He comes from the northern part of Pakistan, a place called Banu. Banu is a humble area. You know, I've been to Pakistan. I saw the stream that he used to swim in. It wasn't a pool. I've seen the environment that he grew up in. You know, with my grandfather being a medical, you know, Army guy that would get moved every couple of years. He came to America, didn't have nothing, and he grinded and he worked hard. Me being the oldest in the family, my youth, I didn't see my dad around a lot. I'd wake up, he'd be gone. I'd come home, or he'd come home late at night. So when I was young, because he was establishing this practice, I didn't see my dad a lot. You know, like, you know, and it's what he had to do. He was a cardiologist and he was saving people's lives. Yeah, literally, right? He couldn't make it to basketball games and baseball games, right? He was out there working, and he was doing it on his own. He didn't have a partner at that time. We talk about scaling. He was doing it all on his own. You know, he was everything on his own. That kind of hard work ethic and that reputation that he built in my hometown is just unequivocal. Like you don't find people like that now.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the role that he played. I respect my father a lot. And, you know, he's somebody that really every day I push to try to get to a point that I will one day be close to him, but it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Right.
Yeah. So when you were younger, then when he was making obviously those sacrifices, doing what he had to do at a younger age, were you upset because of that? And now that you're older, do you understand it as to like why he was doing what he had to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was tough that he wasn't around, right? But I think it made me who I was.
Yeah.
You know, I was very independent. I was out there. You know, I was out there and trying to figure things out.
Yep.
And I think it made me hungry. You know, the athlete that you play with that doesn't have anybody to practice with, that doesn't have anybody to train with, and but they find a way.
They just find a way.
Yeah, I was that guy that would just, you know, sit and stay at the gym for 3 extra hours while everybody would go home, and you know, that kind of stuff, right? I guess it kept the chip on my shoulder. My community is a very sports oriented community.
Yeah.
And so athletics was so important, and in that phase, my father was a 3-sport athlete in college, by the way. So it's not like it's not, you know, he did it himself. He just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Right. And he believed in sports, right? And he believed in athletics and academics. And so that's what I push on to my kids. And, you know, Aman and Amin and Layla are doing a great job. Right. And, yeah, I mean, I think I got lost in that, where I was going with that. But yeah, I mean, I think, it was tough, but I think it made me who I am.
Yeah.
Right. And he had no other option.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And,
Yeah.
you know, so, you know,
No, yeah.
part of the game.
Part of the game.
Part of the game.
He played a huge role. From what he taught us as kids, he didn't have to say it. He showed us,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
He
speak
showed,
louder
he
than
showed us how to
words.
work hard. He always told us, he always just tell us what's better, like what's number 2. You have to be number 1. He was he was a little better at school than we were. He always would say that I was number 1 in school. I was number 1 in the tennis team. I was number 1 at this. He was the number 1 cardiologist in that area. So he taught us to be competitive,
Yeah.
to work hard, and you know, he's a consultant for us. We talk to him about this business all the time. It's not like we don't talk to him. I talk to him all the time about the business. I know Azeem talks to him about it too. He's been a strong support system for us in a number of ways.
Yeah.
So what he's meant to the business is endless. I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
What he's done. My father and my mother.
Yeah.
She was emotionally very supportive for us in a number of ways. Azeem can attest to that as well. So yeah, I could go on.
You know, the culture we come from, your dad don't call you up and say, "I'm proud of you, boy. Doing a damn good job." They don't, it's not like that. It's like, man, I came all the way over here. You better be doing a good job. I put you in the position to be doing a good job. You better do a good job. It's about setting a standard, and that standard needs to be higher than what's around you. And once you hit that standard, it's about pushing yourself to another standard. And then when you hit that, it's about exploring and finding another standard and just continuing to grow, right? And that is, it was never a sit-down conversation. My dad was too busy.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to sit down. You know, see, son, one time, it was never that.
Yeah.
It was always just, we watched him work hard. He was always working, nonstop working. And we knew that was what it was going to be, right? It was about hard work. It was about hard work. So, yeah.
It sounds like that kind of has shaped, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just from what I'm hearing, the culture fit you built at AK Custom Homes sounds like it's shaped from that early belief.
It is. I mean, you know, we've got contractors, blue collar guys. You know, I grew up in a blue collar town. It's second nature to me.
Yeah.
Right. It's normal to me to be in that environment. I'm not a corporate type of environment associated guy. Right. I went to school and went to college, and obviously shake hands and build homes for high level homeowners. Right. Who have been extremely successful. So we know how to be able to work with different, financial backgrounds,
Yeah.
right? But like the everyday, the day to day, and being around that kind of environment, there's nothing better than watching guys work really hard in the field, right? It's just, it just gets you going. It's exciting. It's just because it's real hard work, right?
Yeah.
You're physically working and you're mentally working, right? And that's such a respectable thing, right? In my opinion,
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, if there's nothing else you guys have to say, I want to thank these guys for coming on here. I know they're very busy. So if you guys have any questions on anything, you guys want to follow their socials, I'll have them linked down below on all the videos. Otherwise, thank you guys for coming.
Tyler, thanks for having us. And also, congratulations on your continued success.
Thank you.
We'll be watching you. Tyler's doing phenomenal things, and we're excited about it.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yep. Thank you.